Hello there and welcome to episode 3 and week 2 of the training block. So all in all, definitely a very good progressive week, load increase across the board, especially on those big comp lifts and everything else that indicates that they are going in the right direction. So you're just seeing here, just warming up with some singles. So this is a 170 for a single. Unless I think I would completely missed my single. This is going to be 170 for a triple. So this is my first set of 170s. What you saw just before that was a 185 for a single at a RPE of 8. So that was my first set you've just seen. And this here is now my fourth set. Something to remember when I record and show things. I typically film my first couple of warm-ups, my top set, my first kind of back-off set, and then my last back-off set, unless I think that something's going to need to be looked at throughout. So this last set was feeling really good. Squats as a whole were just feeling good. Not saying they were easy, they sure weren't, but they were good, everything was moving well. And bench press was very much the same, so you're going to see a single here at 120. I used to be so scared of 120. I reckon this is a 110. No, a 130 even, and this here is a 137.5. Yet again, all feeling very good. I'm going to just kind of talk you through a lot of what's happening and kind of what I was feeling at the time, because I haven't got loads of stuff to tell you about this one because it's just a very solid progressive week. I can't tell you what went wrong or bad because nothing went wrong or bad. One thing, if you do want to get an overview of my training in the previous video to this, it is there at the end of that video if you do want to kind of stalk my exercise selection, reps, sets, etc. And it seems to be a good load for me in terms of volume and intensity in the structure that I've got. There's going to be something I'm going to talk about in my next video, predominantly my quads that are screwed at the moment, but that is going to be for next week because it didn't affect what we are looking at here. So this here I think is now 122.5, and like I said, you know, there used to be a point when like 120, like mentally to me was just like a 1 rep max, and now I'm hitting that for reps and multiple sets, and most of the time they're looking pretty good. So I'm really happy with the way they have gone. I still get the odd bench where I kind of miss here and there. I guess the lift that I'm good at, so that was a 220. I'm guessing that was a 240. That's a 255. Or maybe this is the 255. I think this is the 255. The last one was 245. The 255, yet again, a load that would have scared me mentally within training. And the fact that I'm pretty confident I can pull this for a triple is a good feeling to have, because it used to be like an all-out single. You're going to see one thing that I am putting in is holds. So here we go, it's going to be a triple, followed by a 10-second hold. And hold. So nothing beats holding on to like 237.5 kilos. That's what this does. No, it just feels great. Just everything's just locked in. Core's working, grips on fire, absolutely fried. And the reason I've added this in is because I am using straps on my paused work. At the moment, my hands, I don't know if you can see, probably not, especially because I'm going to be in a little screen at the bottom, but they're pretty beat up. They're, And if I'm deadlifting without straps, it's not my grip, it is just the skin on my hands that are taking the battering. So I found that holds on my comp work and then accessory work, I am using straps. It's helping my hands stay in one piece, which is a good feeling to have your hands in one piece. And it seems to be, working very well. Grips not become an issue, so there's enough coming from the holds, even though I'm being a wimp and using straps on my paused deadlifts. And it's to keep the integrity of the hands. I don't know if it's the cold weather, but I do suffer greatly with dry hands. So we've got some paused bench work here. I do love paused bench work. It should be about 3 counts. That looked a little bit short. 1, 2, 3, press. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so just about scraping 3 counts there. Some I'm a lot better on than others. High bar squats. So this here was a big jump. It was 140, which might have came back to bite me in the ass the following week. But hey, 140. We'll take these for whilst they are good. Also it's a 2 count paused squat. So I'm trying to keep it paused, 2 count in the bottom. So this is finishing up the end of my second session. One thing you notice that literally I think I've only got like squats, bench and deadlift. I haven't put any of the seal rows, any of my overhead pressing in, none of the fluff work. It's just been the big lifts. And that just comes down, they are what I would record whether they were coming on YouTube or not. And I guess the other stuff I record predominantly to fill gaps and if there's something I feel that I should discuss. Pin squats, becoming a real firm favourite. Working with doubles on these, I think they tidy up my squat. I really feel like I sit back into a better position with a pin squat than what I do other squats, and I just really hope that in time this will carry over to my just overall technique on a squat. So I'm in a lot stronger position, and I know I do let my knees travel and probably come a little bit further forwards when I'm squatting, but on these feel good, and yet again nice progressive. I think I've gained another 5 or 7.5 kilo. There's a little plug there just for like Smart Shake, not sponsored, nothing to do with them. Actually they sent me that for free, so yeah, good guys. So more pin squats, you're going to get plenty of pin squats. But yeah, all I can say, and even just sitting here kind of looking back, I'm like, my squat position, if I was to squat like that without the pins, I think my squat would fly. I do think my squat is potentially limited by my technique. And I am trying to kind of get more of a sitting back position. Nothing crazy, nothing stupid. My knees are still going to need to travel like they do, but when I'm not squatting down to pins, I think my knees travel that little bit too much, and in a way I'd probably just squat a little bit too deep. Touch and go bench. This week I kind of felt like I'd kind of got to grips with this a little bit better, and yet again it's 115 kilos, and I'm hitting this for 6 reps, which I'm very happy with. A little snippet here. That gets followed up by a close grip bench, which is nice and taxing. Okay, here we go, paused work. As I say, not real deadlifts because I'm using straps, like true wimping it here. But I do find that pausing, and I know compared to a lot of people, I pause very low, and that's because that's where I feel like if I can stay tight in that low point, I feel that I can pull anything. I don't ever find kind of at my knees to be a weak point, so that's why I don't pause. Like some people kind of may pause like top of the sock line or just below the knee. Like my weak point, on where I feel weakest, is just coming off the floor. If I can just pause that like inch off the floor, I feel so strong. These do seem to have a good carryover to my deadlift, going by how my deadlift is currently progressing. Face, just matching the colour of my t-shirt. And then this would have been my last set. I think this is like 215 kilos for pauses, I think. One of my favourite movements coming up. I'm really loving the dumbbell flat bench. Not performed it in a little while. A nice little 2.5 kilo jump. Looking very smooth, very easy. Very happy with where these are going. And this here is going to bring us almost to the end of the video. You've got some safety bar squats, and then we are done for this week. I hope you have found some of this information informative. Maybe you've taken a little something from it. By all means, hit like, hit subscribe, and if you've got any questions, drop them in the comments below. So that is one of my favourite movements. Really enjoying that one in the block, especially after heavy deadlifts. And then safety bar squats. Probably the one movement I really don't like. Never really have. I find it so hard. And part of that is I've never programmed it in like a point where it's going to be good. Obviously I've pulled heavy deadlifts this day. There's going to be some lower body fatigue. It's at the end of the training week. It's in the higher rep range. I'm not giving myself kind of any favours on this movement, but I always have that inclination that if I get good at something that I am so crap at, it's going to have some carryover. And I do feel that emerging strategies will show me whether it does or doesn't. To be fair, actually in flats, I think my squat pattern looks a darn sight better. Maybe I'll start squatting in flats. Thank you very much. Till next time, people.